You're tuned into SEC Sunday Night, part of the Chief Sports Network.
Hit the lights. It's Sunday night. Welcome to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network and proudly presented by Hewitt Domaduras Law, HDLawSC.com. A part of their family is where you want to be. Call Brad and Dean to have a conversation about personal injury, insurance, stair fall, dog bite, advice on where to eat lunch, you name it. Brad
Putting
and
the
Dean.
ball in the drink.
That's it. They got you covered. HDLawSC.com. I'm Rob Williams. He is Craig McMichael. First and foremost, there were roars in Augusta today for Rory once again as he goes back-to-back. Only the fourth ever to do that. Jack Nicklaus, Sir Nick Faldo, Tiger Woods, and now Rory McIlroy. Back-to-back champion at Augusta National. It's just kind of one of those things that transcends sports, but the SEC is still dominant, my friend.
Ooh, that's a nice graphic. Did you make that graphic?
Yep, sure did. No, our good friend Chris Marler, who we will see later tonight because it's Tennessee night, Craig.
Woo!
We're gonna look at the Vols with
You didn't get Dolly on here?
Dolly's busy today.
Okay,
but she did give me her thoughts, and we'll get those passed along here in just a few minutes. 2026 Masters, every college is represented here, and the SEC, as you can tell, with more than anyone else.
Who's the one in the middle?
Yep, look at that. The G is there in the middle for you, Craig. I know you're squinting as if you can't see it. It's quite large.
Where's Carolina? I see Coastal. I see Clemson.
Right. Time to take this graphic down. I will say, I'll give a quick shout out to my friend, your friend, our friend, Meredith McKellar, who is a former SEC golfer at the University of South Carolina, who I spoke with on Friday, or actually Thursday, because this was before the first round was over, and she shared her picks with me, where she had Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, and Justin Rose at the top of her board. And what a turnout as I'm looking at Justin Rose here. Not quite enough, but 10 under. Scotty made quite the run to finish second. And Rory ultimately pulled it out.
I keep looking at like what they're hitting from like 160 yards. Like, oh, they got my pitching wedge. I'm like, that's not what a club I'm pulling out with 161 yards to the green. And then you look and you see like how small the greens are, and you're like, how many balls would I put in the water before I just dropped? But it was impressive. I do want to give myself a personal shout out. I also went back to back yesterday and today. We tried out the new azalea recipe. Had someone else make it for me yesterday. I made mine today. Pretty good.
It's good to know, Craig, that you're perfecting your drink recipes and your master's viewing experience. Our friend Swifties here wants to know if Marler's going to be on the show. Yes, Chris Marler will be here later on, but we're going to start off with our friend Andrew McCleary here in just a moment. And then, of course, the super sultry tones of Casey Cregan will be with us here a little bit later on, as I can see him backstage blowing his nose right now. The allergies have him like Phoebe and her sexy voice. And he's going to be here to tickle our ears in just a few moments. All right.
Grab your Zyrtec, ladies. It's time for Casey Cregan reading the boards.
Stay sick. And that'll be segment 2. Marler will be here to close out tonight as we look at Tennessee. But, Craig, as we look around the league, just really quickly here, baseball is in, no pun intended, full swing, and we're starting to see things kind of shape up a little bit. I'll give a shout out to your dogs, of course. Dropped one today to Florida, but leading the way at 11-4 in the conference. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Horns, who are tied for second with cross-state foe Texas A&M, both 9-5. There in the league. Florida's making a push. Alabama, Ole Miss, Arkansas make up the middle of the pack, and then as you make your way down, Mississippi State, one who has kind of fallen in the recent weekends, and then at the battle for the bottom this past weekend, Monty Lee rights the ship a little bit as the Gamecocks go to Como and sweep the Missouri Tigers to firmly plant themselves in 15th, not 16th place in the league. I will point out, as we look at baseball, just continue to see staggering numbers from Georgia, which I'm sure you love, and we have.
You hear the dogs barking?
My dog would like to say hello on that note.
The dogs are barking.
At Texas A&M, not totally a surprise. Florida playing well after a little bit of an injury. Some of the teams that were at the top kind of make a little bit of a slide, like Arkansas, like Mississippi State, as we mentioned before. A little bit shocking here is that Tennessee, Vanderbilt, LSU are in the 12, 13, 14 position in the league, which we don't typically see out of those schools. And finally, as it was reported here on the Chief Sports Network earlier this weekend, I'll also point out Palm was 6-25 in SEC play at South Carolina. Monty Lee now 5-6 in just a short tenure taking over. Fight in the Gamecocks, although there's a tough road to hoe ahead of that crew, Craig. But a lot of exciting baseball for us to look at.
Yeah, shout out to our friend Duty Noble Field. Had some really good stats on Mississippi State. Georgia went in there, swept them last weekend. The last time Mississippi State lost 5 straight conference games at home was 2022. And then here's the one where you might want to hold your cowbells. They did a little research and said the 2017 was the only team that they found in recent history that lost 5 in a row at home and still made the postseason. The other teams, and that team lost in the Super. So not a good look for Hail State, because they were pretty hot coming into last week, and the Dogs definitely cooled them off a little bit.
No doubt about it. And we still have some time here, Craig, of course, as we see this race continue to shape up. But let's turn the page here for just a moment and go outside of the league, because we have a little bit of news to address, and our friend Andrew McCleary is here to address it with us. First and foremost, good sir, how are you this evening? What's going on?
I'm wonderful. My Masters viewing experience this weekend was tremendous. Lots of time on the couch. Rory tried his absolute best to give away a historic 36-hole lead, but kudos to him for dealing with everything he tried to give away and still came away, in even more rarefied air in Masters history.
Kept it super interesting for us on the 18th today, right? Just right over there into the pine straw, well past the second cut. It just right there. I'll just say it. You're probably not allowed to say this at Augusta National, but out of the mud. Got that one out of the mud.
And you had all those people to his right, and those people were just sort of standing there very confidently. I would have murdered like 10 of those people. I don't even know where my ball would have gone, but I'm not hitting it over anybody. I would have had such the case of the yip, so it was definitely impressive. Did you have any azaleas this weekend? Just quick.
No azaleas. Lots of Little League coaching was in my weekend in addition to Augusta watching. So no azaleas were had, but plenty of golf was watched.
Fantastic. And how are we doing Little League? Did we get some wins?
We're off to a good start. We did not get a W, my oldest, and then my youngest son is coach pitch. So as he screamed at me from first base, Daddy, it's all about fun, right? It's all about fun. Just unprompted in about the third inning. So yes, we are having fun, and we're going to continue to have fun.
Did you plug any kids in coach pitch, or no?
No, but because I do pitch for the coaches pitch team, I do need to admit the first inning was a 1-2-3 inning.
Oh,
Maybe not what we're looking for a coach's pitch, but that's just how it unfolded.
I had to throw BP the other day for our middle school baseball team. Coach was out, and the kid was a little too selective, in my opinion. I'm like, it's close enough for you to swing. You got to start swinging the ball. So good for you. Good for you, my friend.
Appreciate it.
Listen, we can't bury the lead here with you because you're our resident Big 12 guy. When we need to step outside of the greatest conference in all of college sports, and we need to talk about what's going on out there in the Big 12, we're going to call you every time. And so, what's happening with Friday nights, Andrew? Are we going to stamp out Texas high school football on Friday nights in favor of Big 12 under the lights?
Well, I mean, the Friday night lights in Texas have been stamped out for quite some time now, but we just have quite possibly the biggest voice in the Big 12 bringing this attention to everybody. So for those in your footprint who don't understand, there is football played outside of the SEC. Cody Campbell, which I'm sure your base has seen because he bought plenty of political ads during the season last year, came out and had some very fiery remarks to Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark about scheduling Texas Tech and Houston for a Friday night. And at the time when he called out the commissioner of the Big 12, the move was not official. But now not only have the Red Raiders been moved to a Friday night game against Houston, they are now playing Thanksgiving Day against TCU, in addition to help build the Big 12 brand. So the Friday night lights in the state of Texas have been infiltrated for quite some time. And that's out of sheer need to survive. And that's what the Big 12 commissioner is trying to do right now.
But I guess this is my thing. We will be on here and we're going to complain about the college football playoff moving to TBS or Hulu or wherever the hell that they're putting on it because of competing with the NFL. But yet you don't hear the same complaints about college football going to Friday night. Friday night is sacred, especially in Texas. They had a book. What was that book called about Odessa Pyramid? Friday Night Lights?
There's a book, there's a movie, there's a TV series. And one thing I do want to stress, so I played Texas high school football. I was an above average offensive lineman for a high school program that at the time had won the most state championships for 5A, which we would consider 6A now because they have that many, different classifications for it. I played against Matt Stafford. I played against Aqib Talib. Like, I've seen big time football. I've played under those big Friday night lights. I grew up in a town where we had 3 high schools that had graduating classes of anywhere between 1,000 to 1,200 kids. I played in front of no less than 10,000 people on every Friday night that I played. In my junior year, we were terrible. We went 0-10, and yet the crowd still showed up. So the hype that you may think Hollywood has embellished, whether from the book or in the movies or the TV series, it's real. It is absolutely real. It's hard to overfabricate some of the genetic makeup that these Friday nights have in towns across the state of Texas.
And that's the special piece because you look at Buford just put a beautiful facility in earlier this year in Georgia. And again, they're like creme de la creme. But they definitely took out, that's out of the page of South Lake Carroll or wherever that is. I won't talk about the Dragons. It sounds like that may have been a rival for you. But that is quintessential. So like I'm with Cody Campbell 100%. Not only do I support his NIL funds as I so eloquently put last week, and Rob and Joy were crying and trying to say how I was wrong because I was going to scare big old Texas or Alabama. But like I support this. Like there's no reason. If you want to do Big 12, put it on Thursday night. No one's watching the damn NFL game on Amazon Prime or the Amazon Next Gen Stats. Give us back Thursday nights. The ACC used to own Thursday Night Football. Mm-hmm. Let Big 12 do that. Put it on Fox. Put it on whatever it is. Let them roll on Thursday night. Give the high school kids their due and let them play on Friday. This is totally crap. So I'm all with Cody Campbell.
that's fine. And Cody should be vocal. And if you're the Red Raider fan base, you should absolutely back the most, public facing booster you have at the school, who has rightfully been, one of the key pieces into building up the entire athletic department into what it is.
Yep.
But this toothpaste left the tube long ago, unfortunately. Like there's no getting it back. College football has made it very clear they are afraid to go head to head with the NFL. And yes, we can all agree, just as generic football fans, the product we get on Thursday nights from the NFL has not really been good at all. We get one good game about every month, if that. But we have seen what college football has done. When the NFL showed up on Thursdays, they abandoned marquee games on Thursday. So your Mark is taking advantage of a night where he doesn't have to compete with the NFL and his conference doesn't have to compete with other conferences. As much as I like to, kind of gag at saying, how great the SEC is, I cannot in good conscience look at the ratings of the Big 12 and compare them to the SEC and see similar numbers. They're just not there. And so if he's going to try to grab the casual fans, he's got to try to grab them on a night where they're not competing with other more well-known helmets, specifically from the SEC or the Big Ten in this case as well.
So I got a question for my 4-quarter friend Rob. So you do a great job on the Chief Sports Network. You got the four-quarter Fridays and do a great job. What night does high school football happen in the state of South Carolina?
Typically, that would be on Fridays. This is why the show is called 4-Quarter Friday.
And if they have to make up that game, they're more often than not playing on Sunday, are they not? They're not playing Saturday?
They're not playing Saturday usually. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure. So South Carolina's got it right. SEC's got it right. I got to get one little dig in at my guy, Brett Yormark.
I will leave it at this. And Andrew, thank you for being here to explain it to us firsthand of how things look out in Texas, because you grew up there and you understand it. And again, we're going to give you a call anytime we need to talk Big 12. He's going to go on a night where he's not competing with the NFL and, to your point, the SEC for now. There was a time when we didn't have the NFL on Thursdays, and Craig, I'll push back on your point. I think a lot of people are watching that Amazon game. And there will be a time when the NFL says, let's grab another piece of real estate, and that will move to Fridays as well. We now have the NFL halfway through the year moving into Saturdays. So you have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday. It's only a matter of time before they grab Friday night as well. Prime real estate, no pun intended. It is prime real estate, and they will go after it. Andrew, thank you so much for being here with us to break it down in a way that only you can, because we don't have that perspective, and that's valuable around here, because sometimes Craig can get those Big Ten blinders on and forget what the top of the screen says.
I don't know what you're talking about. Wreck 'em, baby. Let's go.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks,
Make
brother.
sure you go follow at CFP4_us there with Andrew. This is SEC Sunday night. It's 8:18, and we'll be back in just a moment with our good friend Casey Cregan.
At TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, we believe true health and peak performance start with personalized care. Whether you're an athlete recovering from injury or just chasing your next personal best, we're here to guide your journey. With expert coaching, hands-on therapy, and transparent cash-based pricing, you get the care you need without the insurance red tape. One client drove 100 miles just to see us and said it was worth every mile. Contact us at trifitperformance.com or 803-353-5619. TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, where recovery meets results.
When playing sports, you want a coach that will fight for you. At Hewitt Diamaduros Law Firm, we've got your back. Whether it's personal injury, insurance disputes, negligence, or wrongful death, our team delivers exceptional legal services that makes meaningful difference in the lives of the individuals and families we work for. Visit hdlawsc.com. hdlawsc.com. Hewitt Diamaduros, we're on your team.
This is SEC Sunday night on the Chiefs Sports Network.
Welcome back to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network and proudly presented by Hewitt Dalmaduros Law. It is time to talk boards with the man himself, and it's Master Sunday. I'm drinking a peaches and cream Zevia. Let's try to get it into focus. There it is. Peaches and
I had
cream.
peach cobbler for dessert. Shout out to my coworker who came over, and she made an awesome peach cobbler. We had a little vanilla bean ice cream paired well with the azaleas.
All the peaches.
Have you ever had an azalea? I'm asking everyone tonight.
What is it? It's vodka or gin and lemonade and grenadine.
We did vodka. We did lemonade. Yesterday I had grenadine. I wasn't that fancy at home, so we had some strawberry syrup I put in there, and I put a little Starry in there because I wanted to make sure my Pepsi loving friend Rob Williams wouldn't yell at me.
I've been drinking azaleas unofficially since 2008.
Oh, you are an OG, baby.
Without the red stuff.
Even though South Carolina produces more peaches than Georgia, we give a lot of we have all the peach things out tonight for the Masters.
Peaches and cream. Remember that song from 2001, Casey? Rob was like in diapers.
It is the dulcet tones of the award-winning and esteemed and accomplished Casey Cregan here with us tonight. I can just picture Phoebe Buffet at Central Perk strumming her guitar. My
It's not good, Robert. It's not good.
Hey, Gunther, be a good little boy and bring me a whiskey. And
that's Gunther. You know where Gunther went to college, right?
I do. Actually, that's not where I was going with that, though.
Where did Gunther go to college, Casey?
He went to Clemson University.
It is great.
Two things before we start. I know you guys have been on the rails. You had Andrew McCleary, who leads the league in Ks in coach pitch, which is not the stat you want to lead in. But Rob, you said roars for Rory. While I was in the waiting room in the green room eating my yellow M&Ms, I was trying to do that 5 times fast. You can't do that 5 times fast.
Ready, set, go.
Roars for Rory, roars for Rory, roars for Rory, roars for Rory, roars for Rory.
How hard was that, though?
It was difficult.
I can't say Red River.
He was like focusing on that.
His ball is roars on it. You have to say it. You have to say it.
Roar on it, yeah. And then baseball is in full swing. I mean, you are locked and loaded tonight, sir.
I'm well oiled up and ready. I'm lathered up. Give me the rock, coach.
Hang on, look at that shirt, Casey. Look at that shirt. Is that a humble brag right there? Like, just anyone see the little?
Is that the 2026 variety?
It's not the 2026 variety. Unfortunately, it has been nearly a decade since my last trip to Augusta.
Me too. 2015.
Nice. I'm still waiting. But
Casey, we have a multifaceted experience for you tonight. We'll come back around to the Masters in just a few minutes, but since it is Tennessee night, let's begin with the Vols.
All right, our buddy MBG says Josh Heupel is just an overweight James Franklin. Our friend GBO 2011 on Vol Nation says he's responding to Volatile Vol, who says Heupel has never been the long-term answer. Pretty evident after a couple seasons. Who you guys wanting to replace him with is a better question. I don't love Heupel, but there's not a ton of others available. There's not a lot of, I'm sorry, I can't speak apparently, but there's not a ton of others available I like more either. And then the response from GBO 2011 says he's just overweight James Franklin, and I hate it. And I got to say, that is a great comparison.
Why is this the topic on a Monday at 3:29 p.m. in April?
See, that's the beautiful thing about the message boards that I'm not sure a lot of people see. Like, they have to take in the full picture. MBG puts this all up for everyone to see. They go right to the post, but like looking at things like thumbs ups or, upvotes, and then the time of day is so important.
What triggered? Did I miss something in Knoxville? What triggered
It was a spring game this week.
Assault on Josh Heupel at
Was it the spring
3:29
game?
p.m. on a Monday.
It was their spring game yesterday. So
My
you know everybody's all fired up, ready to go.
This was last Monday, probably.
Yeah,
I
there
know,
you
but
go,
like,
Craig.
you're
Yeah,
just getting
their
ready.
spring game was yesterday, so we have
Right.
not had a Monday at 3:29 p.m. since that spring game.
I'm saying they were getting all lathered up because they knew the spring game was coming. Just like our boy David Soderquist is down in the swamp. He was getting all excited before that. They're just getting ready. But here's my question: Who you replacing Josh Heupel with? James Franklin? I mean, is that the logical?
Get out of here.
Well, I think that's a similar question that you probably had in Kentucky. It's probably a similar question they had in Florida. Well, maybe not Florida because they would have taken anybody. But as far as that question, which I ask all the time, especially when it comes to college basketball or college baseball, it's like, who are you going to get? They'll find somebody. Somebody will be the hot name. Who knew who Alex Golesh really was before he was at Tennessee?
But okay, before Philip Fulmer, or I'm sorry, after Philip Fulmer,
Fat
who
ass.
was a good choice? Who was a good choice? Butch Jones was a champion for life.
I mean,
Brick by brick, baby.
Jeremy
don't get much
Pruitt
better
was-
than that.
Jeremy
McDonald's bags.
Pruitt had his hat stuck over his head.
You
I won't
forgot
get
about
started
Derek.
about Derek Dooley.
I was going to say you forgot about Derek Dooley and the pants.
But these are all, hindsight's 2020, right? Because these guys were all hot names. It wasn't like they were like, let's go to the garbage heap and go get Derek Dooley. I mean,
And let's be
It's Tennessee night, and we decided to launch off on setting them on fire.
Were we excited about
as
Josh
did
Heupel?
GBO 2011.
Yeah, were we? I mean, but let's be honest. When we saw that hire,
equal
how many
opportunity.
of us were like, "Oh, that was great. That's fantastic. That's a good hire." But he's got alignment. He's got Danny White, his former AD at UCF. Now he's got him there.
I
So,
like him. Well, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad either. I don't know what these people are, what they want.
I don't
Right.
either.
Speaking of don't know what people, what a fan base wants. This LSU fan finds it ironic that Ole Miss wears camouflage hats. Tiger, from our friends at Tiger Rant, and I use the word friends very loosely. Doc Tepepa says, Ole Miss irony. Just me or the Ole Miss camo hats helmets are obviously paying tribute to the U.S. military, go completely against the fact that their mascot namesake pays tribute to the Confederacy that waged war on the U.S.
Thank you, LSU, for the history lesson. Shout out to the University Grays that all gathered, and that's where the Rebel mascot came, and like 89, 90% of them fell at Gettysburg. Used to teach about this when I taught the Civil War and Reconstruction.
The thing I would like to say here is that on what leg does LSU have to stand? And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Listen, LSU is a pillar of just moral uprightness. I mean, Joy had us here last week, and she was speaking those tones of like LSU greatness. So, I mean, who could ever fault them?
The segues are flying. Speaking of morality,
MBG says this Auburn fan is seeking advice about selling a mattress. War damn Eagle. AU GNC engineer says, will a mattress sell if it has a pee stain?
Who picked these boards?
Looking at selling our mattress, but it has a gigantic pee stain. It was from our cat or me. I forget. We tried bleach. It made it worse. What are my options? Please advise. Thanks in advance. I think the only option here from experience is throw it out.
burn it, right?
Yeah, like you can get a cheap mattress in a bag nowadays. Go to
Do we have-
Sam's.
Do we have a timestamp on this one? Because this guy is definitely drunk.
9:58 p.m.
Yeah, he was getting into
Yesterday it
it.
says, but what? Yeah.
What about the cat catching strays? That poor cat was like, dude, it wasn't me, bro.
The
It had
size of the
zero-
pee stain, I feel like really is an indicator here, my friend. We need picture evidence.
Hey, shout out to Casey for knowing what TIA stood for. I had
you're welcome.
I had no idea. So way to go, Casey. That is why we
Were you today
why-
years old when you learned that?
Yeah,
I was today.
That's tremendous. See, I'm learning you, Krager.
Aw, you're so sweet.
Get your readers, Casey.
Really, speaking of, to be truthful, here is what Jim Schlossnagel can expect from Texas A&M fans this weekend. That didn't work. Our friend Nolan Moe from Tex Ags, just shout out Billy Lucci, says Friday night at Olsen is going to be nuclear when Judas walks back on the field. I'd expect to see these items throughout the series. Judas signs everywhere, pineapple hats and Hawaiian shirts, Venmo QR code signs, pay up trader, Zane's face photoshopped into signs, inflatable pineapples getting tossed all over the stands, welcome back Judas or welcome back trader sign, students bringing a full swing set into left field, final interview quote signs, quote, I left my family to be the coach at Texas A&M. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again, and that hasn't changed in my mind. Quote, I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question, to be honest with you. Quote, I gave up a big part of my life to come to take this job, and I've poured every ounce of my soul into this job, and I've given this job every single ounce I could possibly give it, so write that. So it should be a cathartic experience throughout the weekend for a lot of Aggies. We just need the rain to stay away and the boys to do their part. So what happened, boys? Did the boys do their part?
Well, on Friday night, the boys did their part. A&M over Texas 9-8. On Saturday, my friends, once again, Texas A&M over Texas 11-4. And that Sunday game, first pitch scheduled for right now at 8:30 p.m. So we'll see if they can bust out the brooms.
I have a question for Nolan Mo 13. You mad, bro?
What's up with the pineapple thing? I didn't understand that.
I don't know what that is.
I think that we must be missing something. Maybe Marler can fill us in.
Yeah, Marler probably definitely knows.
We will check with him. But it's a beautiful rivalry, and both teams are really good this year. So there you go. This is how the boys did.
I don't know what board it looks like it's from a Texas board, but Texas A&M can have Jim Schlossnagle back. Wilcox coming tonight says Schlossnagle seems like he kind of sucks. He can go back to Aggie anytime. He's not winning a championship here or anywhere else. That facial hair bullshit and letting a commuter school from SA punk us in our own regional last year are glaring leading indicators that this experience isn't going to work out for Texas. He'll make a shitload of money here, though.
At least he'll make money.
So is that why he took the job, was just for the money?
I think that's what Nellie's saying. Again, that was 2001, Rob. Must be the money if you want to come take a ride with me.
Yeah, I'm aware of things that happened in 2001. Contrary to your belief, I am actually no longer 16. Ryan Williams and I have made it out of our teens.
Happy birthday, buddy. Does Texas have regrets? No regrets?
No regrets.
No regrets. All right, we have a couple more here.
All right. MBG says the poor little old SEC just can't compete with the Big Ten. Colorado Ag says the SEC cannot compete with the Big Ten. They make more money. They play a physical brand of football and basketball. The SEC does not. Nowadays, the SEC is more run and shoot, including the best teams in the league. The Big Ten will line up and blow you off the ball in both sports. This definitely came from SEC rant.
Make it stop.
Stop picking these boards. Stop picking these boards on.
Make this stop. Listen, I understand that we have this little run of championships, but I'll continue to say that there are more things to evaluate success, depth, and quality of programs than your handful of teams at the top that have clipped a couple of championships.
There was a really good talk. Andy Staples and Stephen Godfrey had a really good chat on CFA this week about this. And they're like, it's more of a bug than it is a feature. Like, let's actually, look at it in the bigger term. It is an interesting debate because it does seem to get some people riled up, including my co-host. Have you noticed that, Casey?
Oh yeah, he looks a little fired up.
He gets a little fired up. We'll test him, buddy. It's okay. It'll be all right.
All right, we've had a lot of discussions here tonight. Can we talk about something serious?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you guys down for something serious?
That's always the only reason why I'm here.
We've got about 3 minutes. So I just need us to lock in for a moment.
All right.
Ooh.
All right.
Yes, let's go.
I thought I was reading another post. I had the screen all big and everything. I'm good.
$10. You got $10. Don't screw it up here. Don't screw it up. I've got this covered. This is pretty easy, but you guys tell me off your initial thoughts, and I'm going to help walk you through it.
Are we doing breakfast or are we doing lunch?
Is there only one right answer? Is that what you're telling me, Rob?
Yes, that's correct.
What happens if you don't like pimento cheese? Asking for a friend.
Asking for my friend who could
You're going to
me.
be, then you could go with the egg salad and we'll let it slide.
All right. Well, that's where I'm going. I'm going egg salad. The correct answer is chicken biscuit, but I'm going breakfast sandwich. The Georgia Peace ice cream sandwich is like a no-brainer. I'm not even looking at money. What's that leave me? $7.50. What's $2.50 down there? Is a sweet tea $2.50?
Yes.
Boom. I'm done.
All right. So you went egg salad. Hang on.
Egg salad, breakfast sandwich, Georgia Peace ice cream sandwich, and a sweet tea.
Okay. I'm going to count on Craig to really screw it up here. Go ahead.
I could say something, but I want to keep this PG-13.
Let me hear
I'm
it.
going to go 1 egg salad sandwich, 1 pimento cheese sandwich, 1 pork barbecue sandwich, chips, a sweet tea, and a Georgia peach ice cream sandwich.
Did you
I thought it
sneak
was
all that
one
in
from
for $10?
Huh?
Did you sneak all that in for $10?
I think I did.
Let's see, $3,
You're supposed to keep
$6,
us on track, brother. I'm here to take us off the rails.
$9. And what? How much is the sweet tea? I can't see it.
$2.
No, he said $11. This
I
guy
borrowed
can't do
$1
that.
from Casey.
Oh
Let's
my gosh, you can't do that.
Yes, I can.
the
It was
go. A
rules.
bottle of water. You got a bottle of water.
Breaking
Okay,
the
I'll take a
rules.
bottle.
I'll give you some sweetener or something.
Can
I'm
I
getting-
can I bring
I'm
my
getting-
own azalea cocktail?
No.
Water goes above. All right, tell us the right answer, Rob.
The right answer is to skip all that breakfast jazz and get a pimento cheese sandwich, a Georgia peach ice cream sandwich, a crow's nest beer, and go home with money in your pocket.
I thought we were picking one from each category. I
That's
mean, at that, I'm not going.
If I'm
with the
doing
breakfast
that,
sandwich.
if I'm doing that, then I'm definitely doing the chicken biscuit. But
I'm with
Yeah, I was going
grape
down.
jelly.
That's
Yeah.
my bad.
That's
if I could have one from each category, yes. But the pimento cheese is 100% where I'm going on that top row. And again, Casey, if not, I'm probably going egg salad.
My
I've
wife's-
actually heard you got to put the pimento on top of the barbecue.
That is an elite move. But you only gave me $10 and I couldn't afford it. So
That's okay. I stole money. I spent more than $10.
you did. That is correct, sir. All right, Casey, we appreciate you being here
Thank
with us.
you, guys.
As always,
Have a great
tickle
show.
in our ears as you do so beautifully. We hope that for your sake that the allergies loosen up. But for our sake, we hope it's right there in that deep baritone for us again next week, my friend.
Make sure you tell Marler that Andrew McCleary was the best guest on this show tonight.
We'll be sure to do it. I'll tell him you said that, actually. All right. It is 8:37 on SEC Sunday night, and we'll be right back after this.
When playing sports, you want a coach that will fight for you. At Hewitt Diamaduros Law Firm, we've got your back. Whether it's personal injury, insurance disputes, negligence, or wrongful death, our team delivers exceptional legal services that makes meaningful difference in the lives of the individuals and families we work for. Visit hdlawsc.com. hdlawsc.com. Hewitt Diamaduros, we're on your team.
Oh man, the building is on fire.
Emergencies and accidents happen. When you're in the middle of a fire or water event, all you want is for things to return to normal as soon as possible. Resto Pros of the Midlands is with you, guiding you through the process and working with you to get your home or office back in working order. They'll answer your questions, discuss procedures, and can act as your advocate when it comes to processing your insurance claim. Resto Pros Midlands SC.com. Open 24/7 when you need them. Quality that is guaranteed.
At TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, we believe true health and peak performance start with personalized care. Whether you're an athlete, recovering from injury, or just chasing your next personal best, we're here to guide your journey. With expert coaching, hands-on therapy, and transparent cash-based pricing, you get the care you need without the insurance red tape. One client drove 100 miles just to see us and said it was worth every mile. Contact us at trifitperformance.com or 803-353-5619. Try Fit Physical Therapy and Performance, where recovery meets results.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go.
OTC is go.
Thank you, go.
PTC is go.
LPS is go.
Houston flight is go.
Pilot go.
FTM is go.
Safety com is go.
STU is go.
LRD is go.
SRO is go. CDI is go. Launch Director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
It's SEC Sunday Night, presented by Hewitt Diamandouros. Visit hdlawsc.com. It's go time.
Welcome back to our final segment here on SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network, and proudly presented by Hewitt Diamandouros Law, HDLawSC.com. It is Tennessee night, and Craig, as we look to discuss what's happening in Knoxville, let me pick your brain for a minute here before we bring Marler in. What's the biggest question that you have when it comes to Tennessee? And you can't say quarterback.
It's not even so. I don't think it's quarterback. I think it goes back to what we had with our message boards. What is actually going to make the Tennessee Vol fan happy? Because let's just say those quarterbacks aren't on schedule or that defense isn't quite up to par, and we see a 6-6, 7-5. Will that heat be growing for Josh Heupel, and will they put heat on Danny White, or can they be patient? Because again, I think we said it with Casey. Heupel has done things that nobody else has really done and taken them to a spot. And I think sometimes we take them for granted, maybe whether that's our own personal bias or whatever that may be. But I think honestly, there's sometimes that we will take the Vols for granted, but you look at it, they are successful. They've been at that 8, 9, 10, 11 win range for the most part during Heupel's tenure. So to me, it's like, what is actually going to make the Vols happy? Is it a national championship? Is it making a quarterfinal? Is it making it an SEC championship, if that's even still a thing anymore after 2026? You know, what is it going to be?
Well, here to answer that question is our good friend Chris Marler. We'll throw him right into the discussion. Chris, there's been a lot happening on the show tonight, and I want to welcome you in by first of all saying I made this fantastic graphic that shows all of the teams represented in the Masters. We used it earlier on in the.
Well, that seems like
show.
A lot of work you had to put in there to find the Takoshu Fugaji University logo specifically for their sports teams, and then put all that together on one graphic.
I made one call and was able to grab that graphic pretty easily, but it was not that difficult. No, of course we gave you credit for this when we showed it earlier in the show because you did a fantastic job. However, I did see government officials just throwing it around willy nilly, so I thought that was kind of what we were doing here.
We're about to be in an election cycle. That's a swing state. I mean, what are we talking about right now, man? That was like one of the closest races they had. So. And then I mistakenly put in the comments under that congressman's post, like, I would have expected this from a Democrat, which I don't care. I just don't care. Like, it's like, it was just a joke. And they're like, oh, what do you know? This MAGA. I was like, oh my God, it's way more about my Canva graphic. I don't care about your politics.
Quick question though, for my friend Rob. He didn't see any Gamecocks on there. Is that a mistake? Was there something happened there, or?
I don't have a response to that. That's funny right now. No, they didn't make it. They did not make the Masters. There's a lot of good teams that did though.
There's.
Does South Carolina have golf?
They do. I actually have a fantastic. So a mentor of mine does photography on the side, and he has a fantastic portrait of the sunset coming through the Gamecock in the wrought iron gate that leads out to the practice facility and the course where they play.
Yeah.
And he's probably got 200 of those prints. So if anybody
send it to Marler so he can make
wants
graphic.
one, let me know. I'll send one your way. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had a golf team, which is like, I mean, you would assume they would, but if you've never heard of it, In this day and age, that probably says a lot. But anyway, Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee for sure is kind of the talking point at this point in the show. As Craig said a minute ago, we're searching for what the expectations even are in Knoxville from their standpoint. I'll throw one more thing your way because I know you'll appreciate it. We did have a board with Casey earlier. We've had a lot of guests tonight. Andrew McCleary was here to talk about Friday night football in the Big 12 and how it's killing Friday night lights in Texas. We talked to Casey with the boards earlier. And we did have a Josh Heupel is just an overweight James Franklin board. So just fantastic stuff tonight to kind of get us kicked off in terms of where we're at in Tennessee. But on a more serious note, if there's a question in your mind when you look at this team, what's the biggest question mark for them heading into 2026 if it's not the quarterback position?
Yeah, the quarterback is such an easy one to say. I think the biggest question is how quickly this defense is going to pick up on Jim Knowles' system, because on paper, and this is one of the reasons I'm so big on Tennessee this year, as much as I hate to say it, but is like I'm a big fan of whenever you can combine just like what genius level people, like whether it's like an offensive mind or a defensive mind or whatever, whenever you can combine those types of people, and I don't mean just like, hey, he's a good offensive coach. I mean like an elite offensive mind that sees the game differently than everyone else. That's Josh Heupel. Like that doesn't mean he's going to beat Georgia, but like the numbers that this offense has put up, the numbers he's put up everywhere he's been, he is an elite offensive mind. They are really consistent, and he's done it despite having guys like Nico and Joe Milton and all things like that. So I think for me, you combine that kind of offense that is always going to score points. Like they don't have to play Georgia 12 times, so they're always going to score points, at least, theoretically in 11 of those. And you're combining that with arguably a top 5 defensive coordinator. Maybe 2 years ago, we'd say he's the best defensive coordinator in the country. And I think that like them going out, we talked so much about how they didn't get a quarterback. They couldn't find a quarterback. Who's going to take over that position for them? Like they're in so much trouble. And none of us talked about the fact they went and made maybe the biggest acquisition of the offseason in the SEC, which is an elite defensive coordinator, because that's the one thing that's really flawed them at times under Heupel. So if his defense, if they can pick up on that defense and understand like the ins and outs of how to work in that defense right away, then they're gonna be great. The question is, a lot of times at other stops, it's taken those units like a year or two to get a full understanding of it.
But I think with Josh's offense, they don't have to be elite in year one. Like they just have to be like good enough, right? I mean, you go back to last season. Too often times the defense was so damn porous that it ended up costing Tennessee the game. Right. Where I think putting those two together, that should be a recipe for success.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is that you look at some of these like turnarounds that we talk about, like when you go get like an elite defensive coordinator and he comes to a school in a different part of the country than he's worked in before, a lot of times it's like maybe it's a revamping of his career or something, and it's at a lesser place than Tennessee. And I know that Tennessee has not won a national championship since 1998, and I hope the fans hear me say that again. But they are still a program that competes and recruits with a national footprint, and they always have. And they are going to get good players no matter how bad the head coach has been, like they've had for the last 15 years and before Heupel. No matter who's been there, they've been able to recruit at a pretty elite level. This roster is not like devoid of talent. You went out and got Chaz Coleman. Now, I don't know if he's going to play. I love the fact that they combined at least one person at each level of the defense that came with him from Penn State. And they've got a lot of talent on that roster still. And again, the schedule lines up pretty well for them. I don't think that they're going to take a step back with from the quarterback situation, because they have two really talented quarterbacks. They're just young. So you look at some of the numbers under Heupel since when he was an OC at Mizzou, and the numbers that his quarterbacks put up in year one, they're all like pedestrian in comparison to what they do in year 2 and 3, but they're like very, very good seasons for mostly every other school, right? Like it is 2,600 yards passing, 22 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And I don't know who is going to be the starter, but they are going to run the football. They have a lot of elite talent at receiver. I just don't see how they're going to take a step back or stay stagnant.
Yeah, I don't totally disagree. I think that there's a couple of question marks for me when it comes to the schedule, but before we get there, I do want to kind of look at we looked at the coaching staff a little bit, and I think you kind of called out the major piece there.
Yeah.
But when we look at this roster, first of all, you mentioned Chaz Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to support this $3.5 million number that's floating around right now? Because 3.5 for 1 year says a lot about not only what they have, but also what they're willing to spend it on and who you might not want to get into a battle with. Because although he was a highly rated portal prospect, he's still kind of raw in terms of what we can expect out of him, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a logical way to look at it. I don't think anyone did that during the portal. It was kind of weird. Like, it was like, I mean, he's a former high 4-star recruit that has a lot of upside, and he went to Penn State. And again, like the body and frame is there, but it's not like he's 265, right? Like he's not a Will Anderson. He's not a Jadeveon Clowney. He's not built like that. He wasn't even like that out of high school. So it does feel very much like, oh, the ceiling is so high for him. It's like, for $3.5 million, when you also couldn't afford to sign a quarterback because of like the funds that you had. I'm not great with finances, but I do know that if I need two things, and the coach that's the head coach is the one that's going to also be calling plays and running the offense, I probably don't get a defensive end with off the field mental health issues or whatever I should have phrased like that, but I don't know what the off the field situation is. I think that you also have this is the problem with the sport right now, is that like you are going to offer $3.5 million because if you don't, someone else will. Like that is just that's the market. Is it right? No, probably not. That's crazy to give a kid with such limited experience in production $3.5 million for what he could do. I mean, is he going to stay at your place for the next 2 or 3 years? Probably not. So I don't know. Like in a sophomore season, what are you paying for? I think it's a really good point that I think coaches and ADs and everyone else around and like these coaching staffs are like around the country are kind of like this hard place of like, yeah, this is really stupid, guys. This seems like a really dumb decision. Like, this is not how we would have ever done this before if money wasn't involved. But also, this is what everyone else is doing. We're all in the same boat. Like I don't know how you get out of it. Like, if you don't give that kid $3.5 million, he is going to go probably sign with another school that you have to play every year for that $3.5 million. And then you can't let your boosters, if that goes wrong and he somehow is the reason you guys lost that game, can you imagine what the boosters would say to that?
Right. And I bet you the amount of time you have to make that decision and like think about the $3.5 million is probably less than our conversation here tonight, right? I feel like as soon as you go, you got to have a number or they're going somewhere else.
What's crazy, I didn't think about this. It makes sense, but like you've seen a lot in the basketball portal too, which is, I mean, the market is the market. Like I can't fault a kid for trying to go get paid what he's worth. The amount of influence and like the percentage of the conversations that are being had about like the deals that are being made that are happening strictly with the agents and not the players, that sucks. Like that is just like, talk to my agent. Like I hate that. And then they're also doing a majority of these things, especially in the portal window, are on Zoom. And that just has got to be such a helpless feeling for a coach. If it's like, really need this player, he doesn't seem interested enough to even come to campus because the main question that's going to start off the Zoom call is, how much are you willing to pay? Yep. Like, I mean, that's just a shitty place to start from.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like, you're hoping, like, well, are they in the Zoom room? Are they in the waiting room? Are they still going to be here? And like, are they going to like set up? I mean, Barnes had it a couple of weeks ago in the SEC tournament. He's like, recruiting's actually easier now because it's not like traveling anywhere. It's basically just saying, okay, what are the finances? And if our finances line up, cool, we're signing the guy. If not, he's moving on. We're moving on.
Well, Don Staley said the same thing from the women's perspective of, once we get past the pleasantries, that's pretty much the first thing we're going to say because we're not wasting time. If your number is going to be out of what we're budgeting for it, then we're wasting everybody's time and just move on. I did have some respect for Shane Beamer's comments last week where he said he was asked, what are some things that a recruit can do to turn you off? And he said, 1, don't be a prick, and 2, don't make it all about money. That he's like, I understand the importance of money for anybody who missed the quote, but I'm paraphrasing here. I understand the importance of money and money plays a big role, but you can't come in here and say, this is all I care about.
So think about this. Like I said this a couple of years ago and it's way more true now, but like no one's ever going to feel bad for millionaires in general. Like we just refuse to do it. So it's like there's this very weird like pushback like on opinions of people that are super rich or have these like, like easy lives just because of like money. It's like, well, maybe Kirby Smart and Nick Saban probably have some pretty good opinions on how to fix this sport that they've been involved with for their whole life. And they've also seen all the stuff behind the scenes. But like, I'm sure that there was stuff that was being done, like the money coming in the back door instead of the front door, like Ogeron said. Like, I'm not an idiot. I'm not that naive. I totally get it. What's crazy to me, and you got to think about this from Beamer's standpoint. No one's going to feel bad for like Saban or if Kirby can't get 5 stars as much as he used to or whatever. But for a guy like Shane Beamer, who watched his dad build this program that was nothing in like, Blacksburg, Virginia, just a afterthought of a program turned into a national power and a consistent bowl program that was always at least relevant in the sport of college football for years. And he was able to do that because you were able to sell something about culture and coming. You think a bunch of kids from like the Southeast want to go up to Blacksburg, Virginia? No, probably not. And so being able to sell them on that culture, what you've created, you worked your ass off. His first 2 or 3 years, I think they had a losing record. Like because I remember like Shane saying that he would have been fired if it was like nowadays. But having to be around that and learn all of that, like how you've become a coach and like what to do and how to run things, built off of relationships, recruiting, and things that matter that aren't like monetary value. That's got to be such a miserable feeling to have, like just an inability from the other side at times to even want to have a conversation about recruiting outside of just pay me.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we talk here a lot, and, we kind of turned this conversation a little bit, but we talk here a lot about developing the whole person and how important it is to take things from sports that actually, benefit you in life, that the game always ends. And as much as lucky as we are to get on here day after day and week after week and talk about sports and have people watching and listening, and everybody cares enough to tune in because it is that big of a deal in our region specifically. There are bigger things in life than these games that we're watching and following, and how these young men are developed, I think, is a big piece of that. Chris, when you look at the Tennessee roster a little bit, we talked about the offense. I want to loop back around to quarterback to kind of close us out in just a minute. We got about 5 minutes here, but let's talk about that Knowles defense. Do they have the personnel? The big question is, how quickly do they grasp it? Do they have the personnel if they grasp it to kind of execute what he wants to do, or is this a situation where it's going to take a year to kind of get the guys in there? It's portal era, and Craig's going to chime in here. Let me say it for him. You can turn it around in a year.
You can't do in a year. Even if you're at Tennessee with Chaz Coleman and his $3.5 million and all that kind of stuff. What you can't do is replicate that 2024 Ohio State defense that had future first rounders and All-Americans everywhere and former 5 stars. I mean, like going into that season, they had seven projected first round picks. I mean, it was insane. And like, they don't have that at Tennessee. So I do worry that when you look at like what he was able to do at Ohio State against lesser competition, no offense. I mean, at the time, especially like you look at like just the metrics of their schedule that year versus Tennessee this year. I don't know if they have anywhere close to that. I don't know if he needs that. I don't think Penn State had a bad defense this year. I didn't watch a ton of Penn State football. I do know that at Oklahoma State, he was really good for his final 2 seasons. Before that, it was kind of he's not been a perennial top 5 coach defensively for 10, 20 years or anything like that. I do think he can get the most out of this team, even if they aren't as talented. And I think they have enough pieces there, because again, like the most important part here is this: you don't look at Tennessee and the way that team is built in the same way you look at like Alabama or Texas is probably a bad example, but like teams that aren't always going to put up 30 points a game. You need a defense that's not going to be bend but don't break or anything. Like, you need a defense that's going to be able to come out there and every single week get stops on third down, be able to keep you out of the red zone and force you into mistakes, all those kind of things. With this situation, it's very much outside of 1 to 2 games a year. Can you hold them under 30? Because we're going to score 30. If you can do that, we're going to win a ton of games. So I just think that the bar for success defensively, like for Tennessee to win, They just need to have adequate defense. The bar is very low, like for what they need to have to be a good team defensively. I don't think this guy's floor is that low. I don't see how at worst it's like not great for him, like in comparison to his past defenses. But like, what does that look like for what Tennessee's had?
But I think we also have to remember on Jim Knowles, like he's more than Penn State, he's more than Ohio State. Like he was at Oklahoma State, right? Like he got picked up with Duke, so he's not always used to he's not always that guy. Like
I feel like he just came around 5 years ago, but he's like 100 years old.
Right? Yeah. I mean he's been around. He was at Duke for a while. He was Cornell's head coach, so like he's been around. And it was one of those times where Gundy kind of like again zigged when everyone else was zagging, bring him in, and then that's where like his stock really rose, and then he went over to Columbus. So. It's not like he's always used to always having Caleb Downs out there and stuff like that as well. Like
being out there at Cornell that gets you prepped, like that fan base and that booster base and that roster. That'll be really, really, really seamless transition when he's at Tennessee. That he's already prepared for that, so that'll be great. There's a lot in common from Tennessee fans and Cornell grads.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing about Duke. A lot of these schools that really, really match what's happening in Knoxville. Okay, 2 quick hitters here before we get you out of here.
Yep.
And you can one-word answer me on both of them, to be honest.
I probably won't. I'm very long-winded tonight.
Gun to your head, you have to pick a quarterback. Which one are you going with in Knoxville? And number 2, what's the magic win total that makes everybody say this was a successful year in Knoxville?
I think 8 is the magic number because you have a little bit of a built-in excuse at the quarterback position. If you had a returning quarterback, then it would be 9. I think that 8 is probably that number. What was the other question? Gun in my head. Are they
which quarterback?
Which quarterback? Oh my god! I guess
it's hard, right? It's spring, but that's why we do this.
And so I was texting Eric Kane about this, who covers them for On 3 and like Locked On the other day. I was like, hey man, haven't got to be able to see a single spring game because none of them were televised now, which just sucked. There were 10 games on. We couldn't see any of them besides Colorado. Nobody wanted to watch that, and so. Did you guys see how small Colorado was?
Yeah,
I know.
What diet? I need to get on that.
So someone's like, "Oh, is the Guardian caps?" They made them look small. I'm like, no, that they look like a JV team.
How did you lose so much weight? Oh, I went to play college football at Colorado. It really slimmed me down. Like it's insane.
I have a lot of jokes.
I thought Boulder had the opposite thing. I thought people got hungry and got the munchies. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
But I think that I was texting him about it. I was like, how's the quarterback situation look like? Is like, did anyone separate themselves whatsoever? Is there anything you could hang your hat on or buy too much stock into? He's like, literally nothing. Like they could not have been more even. They left somehow even like less understanding of who the guy should be than before. So I think it'll be McIntyre only because he has 1 extra year in this offense and starting a true freshman quarterback, even though he's immensely talented, that is something that would be, that there's a lot of risk involved with that.
I agree. I think coming out of the gate against Furman, that's who you're going to see. I'm not going to count Faison Brandon out.
Yeah, that's the other part
by the end of the year.
Remember a couple of years ago, he started Joe Milton over Hendon Hooker, and then which still blows my mind. I don't know what he could have seen, but
he saw that big arm. And like
maybe they were playing like on a 180-yard field or something, and he was just, he stood out more than anyone else. But yeah, it's I think they're gonna be better than people think. I do think the schedule's manageable, and I hate buying into Tennessee because I love Josh Heupel, great dude, super nice guy. I don't know if any of us are ready emotionally to live in a world where Tennessee wins a national championship.
No, I agree.
So can I ask you this? So this is a serious question. Where does Tennessee football actually rank within the SEC? Right, like because like we're thinking about just like going into 2026.
Now.
Like now. I mean, they've made a college football playoff. Yes, they got their hat handed to them, but we're talking about
they were recruiting during warmups with their shirts off.
That was unbelievable, and the people that were how about some of them could have come out without their shirts off, let the skill position players go out there shirtless. Everyone else, I'm good. I don't think anybody needs to see that.
Come on, no skill player wants to come out with a shirt on. You got the big on.
There were a couple of offensive linemen whose nipples were disappearing inside their own bodies because of how cold it was. It was ridiculous, man. And who was the fat white kid that came out there with like the what do you call it hat? Like the ski mask thing, and it was like, but he put that on instead of anything. Anyway, no, I think where they lie in the pecking order of the SEC, it's kind of interesting because there's a case to be made that they went down 2 spots the moment Texas and Oklahoma came in. But what's weird about Tennessee, if you talk to I think that they are better than people give them credit for. They just don't have a bunch of signature wins, really. And they've never beaten Georgia. They've scored first in that game for the last 6 years in a row. It's
usually on the first or second play.
What's that?
Usually like on the first or second play.
Yeah. It's 6 years in a row. It's been the best bet every single year, and they end up losing by 10 points or more. So they are, for some reason, people hold them to this standard of like, well, they can't ever beat Georgia. It's like, well, yeah, nobody beats Georgia. So like, if you're going to say that they're a below average team that isn't very good, I don't know how they perform against Georgia would be the example that we're going with. I think that they're probably did you put them ahead of LSU? Because
yes, I do, like in my head right now, they're in my head. Forget my picks in a few minutes. In my head, I sort of have them maybe a little ahead of LSU right now. I have them ahead of
Oklahoma. Right now. You do? I think you mean like last year or something.
Yeah. Like last year, but I have my. Where do you put them with Oklahoma? Like
he doesn't love LSU, Chris.
Where do you put him?
This year, I put them ahead of Vandy.
Yeah.
I think Vandy thinks in trouble.
We've not gotten to Vandy week, but we've not made any comments sparse about the fact that we think they're taking a step back. And I don't believe in Jared Curtis year one.
Vegas has the win total. They opened at 6.5. I think it's down to 5.5 now. That's the easiest money in this entire season. That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, Chris Marler here with us. It is 9:06 on SEC Sunday night. Chris, thanks for being here with us to kind of break it down, informing us, letting us know. Ignore that last text that I sent you, sarcastic as it may have been. And we'll have you back soon as we get through. I just asked if your link was broken. That's the only thing that
my bad. All right, guys, I appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
Yep.
Thanks, bud.
All righty. Craig, let's do this thing and get us out of here. I should have turned my hat around. I kind of felt left out there. I threw the glasses on tonight. Okay.
The standard is the standard. Backwards hats.
All right. We're starting with Furman, and we're giving them a win there. Correct? Can I count on you to give me that one?
Yeah, correct. You can take the Furman win.
All right, Georgia Tech.
I've got Tennessee with the win. I think Georgia Tech's in a little bit of trouble this year.
I have them with the win as well. I'm very intrigued by Georgia Tech this year, but I'm not nearly as high on them as I have been in years past. That's been an upset that I've picked a couple of times that has really propelled us. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. All right, Kennesaw State week 3. That's going to be a win. I'll go ahead and say it for us both. Week 4, it gets interesting as we get a matchup, a battle for the UT. Texas comes to Knoxville. I got Tennessee taking the L.
Yeah, I do too. This is usually about where Georgia will slot in. But yeah, I say Texas will take Georgia's spot here, and then we'll give the Vols their first loss of the season.
All right, week 5, Auburn comes to town. The end of a 5-week opening homestand for the Vols.
It is.
I got a win for Tennessee.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Like I was looking, I'm like, I felt good about Auburn a couple of weeks ago when we were there.
Yeah,
got this as a win for Auburn and a loss for Tennessee.
Yep.
I'm just saying, get your freezing cold takes ready. I think I could be wrong on this one.
Yeah, well, we split, so one of us is going to be really wrong because I feel good about Tennessee in that one at home. Then they have to go to Arkansas, but we've talked about what's going on there. Ryan Silverfield really has a tough road to hoe as he tries to build something. I got Tennessee getting the win on the road.
Yep, I've got a loss in this one. I think this is going to be 11 a.m. Jefferson Pilot in God's country. So I've got a 3-game loss before we go to the third Saturday in October.
Woo. That is tough. Alabama in Knoxville. I've got them coming in and getting the win. Not enough, I don't think, for Tennessee to get it done against the Tide this year.
Yeah, I've got another loss for Tennessee. I just feel like I don't feel good about this at all. Like
you have them. That's 4 in a row.
Yes, I have 4 in a row.
So I kind of know what you're doing next. They have to go to Columbia, South Carolina in week 8. I have the Gamecocks winning that game. Historically, if you look at the past 15 plus years, the home team, for the most part, wins that one, no matter which location it's in. And those are two teams that have played a lot. So I'm going to go South Carolina.
Yeah, I think they're going to defeat interim head coach Sean Elliott. I've got the Vols winning that one.
Okay, a shot fired. I've got Texas beating Kentucky week 10. They host the Cats, and I think that Will Stein will do good things. But as we have previously discussed, I don't know how quickly that happens for him.
Yeah, I've got Rocky Top with a win.
What about going to College Station in week 11 here, Craig? As they kind of wind down, we'll get to Texas A&M later on in this discussion, but I think that it's just too much for Tennessee going out there. I get hung up when we talk about them, when we talk about Texas A&M, because it is a little unpredictable for me.
It is.
But as it stands today, I think I'm going to go with Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Texas A&M. I originally had this as a win, and I just changed it. Like right when we were going through it, I'm like, nope, I'm going to go with a loss in this one.
All right, two games that we pretty much already gave our answers to. They host LSU and then Vanderbilt. I have them losing to LSU and beating the Commodores to close it out.
All right, so I am the same as you, but I have a question for you.
Yes.
Over under number of golf balls and mustard bottles thrown at the LSU sideline.
Ooh, golf balls and mustard bottles thrown at Kiffin / the sideline. Yep. I'm going to set it at 123.5.
Oh, that's going to be good. That's got to be the 6:30 p.m. ABC game, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It really depends on where they are. As we look at schedules, because it's so late in the year, it could be a situation where, if, for example, here, I have Tennessee going 7-5.
Yeah, I got 6-6.
Okay, so if we're right, then you'll have them at 5-5 coming into that game. And I will have them at 6-4. Yeah.
I think
I think LSU is pretty good, and so maybe that elevates it. But I'm just not sure that by that point in the season, Tennessee has enough to get them into that slot.
There might be some juice there, and I'm not talking the one that resides in Oxford, but there might be some juice there. That if that's not the ABC game, there's another shot at Lane for you. By the way,
it was a great line.
I know. I appreciate that.
Yep.
But if this isn't the ABC game, this is definitely that ESPN game, because that ESPN game is always a little bit wild.
I think it works there. I think it really, really works there. It's not the SEC network. It gets the ESPN nod, I think, for sure. As you kind of look across the league at what some other games that are going on there. There's definitely an Auburn and Samford. Looks like it could be the SEC network game there. All right. It is 9:12, and I kept us right on schedule there up until Marler came in and really had some great stuff for us that I couldn't turn it off. Craig, I couldn't cut it down. So we're over a little bit tonight, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's SEC Sunday Night on the Chief Sports Network, proudly presented by Hewitt Dalmaduros Law. We will be back next week, as always, here on the Chief Sports Network. I'm Rob. He's Craig. We'll see you next time.